Iran is passing through a period of unstated grief. The protective umbrella of security that Tehran gloated about got penetrated again by its rival forces. This time, a senior IRGC official got murdered right in front of his house by two motorcycle assailants. Iran stayed away from pointing fingers at their usual suspects, though they called for vengeance. But with one absurd move, the US administration has sowed the seeds of discord between Tehran and Tel Aviv. It is arguably the snub of highest level from the Biden administration. Hi and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Vedika, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI Global channel yet, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. In 2020, a wave of shudder passed through the clerical circle in Tehran when news came out about the passing of the much-revered military officer in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Qasem Soleimani. In the freezing morning temperatures, a week after, the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khomeinis, cried uncontrollably during the funeral procession of Soleimani, where thousands were seen clutching portraits of the slain leader in the streets of Tehran. The tough etiquette that Ayatollah possessed made it impossible for anyone to get into the fact that the 83-year-old could cry, that too in a public view. Right after the flag-draped casket got lifted, Ayatollah gained composure and called for vengeance against the United States. The media houses across the world then ran amok, pinning for a war between Washington and Tehran. Even though the design for the war was set, nothing happened then. Moreover, Tehran can't go straight into a conflict and seek glory with Donald Trump on the other side. Minding the setbacks that Trump could deliver, Iran went pragmatic in its approach with no offensive but keep its composure, looking for a wiggle room to seek vengeance against the killing. Straight to now, another senior member of the IRGC has been killed by 5 gunshots by 2 assailants on a motorcycle, who managed to do this operation with ease. It also brings into light the easily penetrable security shield that Iran boasts about. Hassan Sayyad Khomeini, identified as the colonel of the Quds Force, was returning home on Sunday afternoon when he was caught straight into this ambush. He was touted by the IRGC as the defender of the shrine, a term used for anyone who works on behalf of Iran in Syria. Khomeini was deputy head of the so-called Unit 840, a shadowy division within the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Expeditionary Quds Force that carries out kidnappings and assassinations of figures outside of Iran, including that of Israelis. But digressing from its usual self, Iran didn't go blaming the highly suspected Israel or the United States. Rather than the power circles in Tehran, went on to put tacit blame on the global arrogance, a term commonly used by Iran to describe the United States and its allies. The United States is known as a country that enjoys the real joy of being in a war. How that matters got running in Iran alerted the very ounce of their spirit. So, the US counterparts wasted no time in leaking confidential data to the New York Times stating how Israel is involved in the Sunday killing of the IRGC general in Tehran. An infuriated Israel took up notice of this issue to warn that such incidents may dampen the smoothly running ties between Washington and Tel Aviv. We have very close relationship and a lot of cooperation between us, which all depend on trust, and when it is violated in some way, then it damages future cooperation. M.K. Ram bin Barak, who heads the Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee, opined. The leaked claims have invigorated frisson in Israel, with an irate Iran started giving out threatening statements against Tel Aviv. We swear that we will take revenge tenfold from the Zionist regime, from the US and enemies with strength. An IRGC senior told the crowds that had gathered in the capital city on Tuesday to mourn Khomeini. The politicking behind this leaked story is more kind of a warning signal aimed at Israel for its lack of support for the Western power blocs in the Ukraine war. The United States made most of the Eastern European war to rope in Israel by their side, but to no avail. The latest being Israel rejecting military assistance to Ukraine. After all, the seeds of discord have been laid by the US, and it's believed that Iran may not stay quiet this time.